Yeah, okay, fine. So let's start. So in today's session, we will cover what is board conference procedure, how it will start, what will be there, and what are all things as an aspirant you should keep in your mind. Number one is that board conference is a separate technique altogether. The way it is psychology technique, the way it is GTO technique, the way it is interview technique. Board conference is also one such technique where the assessors get to decide about recommending a candidate or not. Before coming to the board conference, individual assessors would have given some marks for you based on your performance with whatever you did in front of them or whatever you performed in front of them. Like, for example, with whatever you wrote on the dossier, the psychologist would have analyzed along with your PIQ, and then he would have done a clear analysis, and then he would have made an assessment about you, and then he would have given it in terms of a mark to discuss. Similarly, the group testing officer also, with whatever performance you have demonstrated in front of him in last 2 days, based on which he would have given some mark. Similarly, whatever you spoke and then whatever questions you answered to the interviewing officer during the 45 minutes interview, based on that, he would have also given some mark. So this would have happened on day 2, day 3, and day 4. Now moving on to day 5, normally the board conference starts at morning about 9 or 9:30. Timing will be told to you. Dress in which you are supposed to present yourself is formals. Okay, and few boards, they might give you a new chest number, or new in the sense, same number you will get, but a different cloth altogether. A reason being because you would have done in GTO ground, it would have got some amount of dirt or something like that. So they'll give you, like, for example, if your number is 7, they will give you a new chest number, which is also written as 7 only. With that, you go and be there. Outside the conference hall, you will be made to wait one after the other. And before the commencement of conference, the closing address will be given by one of the interviewing officers. It can be deputy president or any of the interviewing officers, or at times president may also come in. So in that, they will tell you like what are all things, that what is officer like qualities and all those things. They'll just simply explain, and then they'll give the closing address. Thereafter, the board conference will start. Okay, first I'll explain the layout of board conference. First, the board conference will be in a U shape. Okay, in a U shape, wherein in that U there will be a center spot where you will be given one seat to sit. Bang on in front of you will be the board president and deputy president. On their right and left will be interviewing officer. So basically, if you sit in straight, you are able to see president, deputy president, and then 2 interviewing officers. So 4 people in front of you will be mostly the interviewing officers. On your left, it will be the psychologist. It is the service officers who are doing psychologist duties, and then the civilian psychologist appointed from them. So they will be on your left hand side. On your right hand side, you can find the group testing officers, which is always a service officers. They'll be in uniform. However, in psychologists, and if you see, there will be 1 or 2 officers will be in uniform. Rest all will be in formals. If there is a lady scientist, she will be in sari or something. Okay, so this is the general layout you can see. So your turn, like this, every candidate is called one after the other. So before your arrival, your particular interviewing officer will read out your chest number and then the place you are coming from and some other basic information about you. After that, he will say marks. In that case, one of the assessors, the GTO, will say his marks. Thereafter, psychologist will say his marks, and then the interviewing officer says his marks. So all those marks are simultaneously inputted into a computer also, which will be projected for the assessors to have a look. So if you are meeting a minimum criteria, first is a clear-cut pass. Like if every assessor has passed you, you are a clear-cut pass candidate, wherein it is like already dictated that you have been passed by GTO, you have been passed by psychologist, you have been passed by the interviewing officer also. Likewise, similarly, the system also calculates some mark for you. Okay, the system also calculates a mark for you. That is the conference marks based on that. So 50% of the conference marks goes to interviewing officer, 25% goes to the psychologist, and 25% goes to the like for example, if assume, I'm not telling you the actual marks because then you will be started thinking like, okay, how much mark I would have gotten. I'm just telling you some random. Okay, assume every assessor has got 100 marks to analyze about you. Okay, assume. So let us say interviewing officer has got 100 marks, psychologist has got 100 marks, GTO has got 100 marks in total, and then conference also got 100. Are we clear about this? Now let us say 40 marks is passing by one assessor. Fine. So if you get 40 marks from one assessor, means you are passed by that assessor. So let us say GTO gives you 40 marks, psychologist give you 40 marks, interviewing officer gives you 40 marks. What is your total marks would have been? 120. So if it is 120, means you are a clear-cut pass by all the 3 assessors. Now your board conference also, you will get 40 marks, out of which 20 will be by interviewing officer, 10 by psychologist, and 10 by the group testing officer. Now you are clear? So at the end of the board conference, out of 400, you will score, your SSB score will be 160. Clear with this? I hope I didn't confuse anyone. Okay. In this board conference, 20, 10, 10, right? 20 for the interviewing officer, which is 2, 2, 4, and 10, 1 4th and 1 4th. In that, they can slightly shift up and down, 5%. They can shift up and down. Because if they feel like they have assessed you very strictly, they can give you a little extra mark. If they feel like, no, I have done a liberal assessment, they may reduce your mark to 5%. So 3 marks. Everybody can increase one mark or 1. This is an example. Okay. These are not the actual marks. These are examples. All right. So let us take the second scenario where the candidate is cleared by any two assessor, not only psychologist only, by any two assessor. Let us take case 1. GTO passed you with 40 marks. Psychologist passed you with 40 marks. Interviewing officer passed you with 25 marks. He didn't actually pass you 25 marks. So how much it will be? It will be 105. So there is some bare minimum mark. If you cross that, so you are not cleared by all the 3 assessors, only 2 have cleared. But with the 3rd assessor marks, you are crossing the cutoff criteria. Let us say the cutoff criteria is 100 in total. Let us say, okay. So GTO has passed you with 40. Psychologist has passed you with 40. Interviewing officer has given you 25. You're crossing the cutoff of 100. 105 you are scoring. That means you are eligible for a discount. Here, the interviewing officer will tell why he has not passed you. Why he has given you only 25. He will tell that I have asked this kind of questions. These are the OLQ. They will not actually tell the answers what you said. They will purely discuss on the OLQs. What was the OLQs and what was your level in that? Okay. So there is a scale which is followed. So in the OLQ, this girl or boy is lacking confidence. Communication is a problem or something. Whatever they observed it as per their technique, they will tell. Where the other 2 officers, whoever has passed, they will say why they have passed, how you performed in their technique. Like GTO will tell, no, communication was fine, this was fine, and whatever. Accordingly, they will discuss. And finally, it is purely left to the assessor who didn't pass you whether to say, I'm okay to come up or I'm not okay to. When he says, I'm okay to come up, fine, it means he is ready to pass. In that case also, the candidate is recommended. If he says, no, I have very clear indications, this boy or girl not suitable to become an officer, then he will say, sorry, I can't come up for this boy or girl. In that case, though you are cleared by 2 assessors in 2 techniques, you would have done extremely well in 2 techniques, you are cleared by them. Okay. The 3rd assessor has got clear indication that you have some issue in any of the OLQs. He has got concrete evidence. Then he will say, sorry, not possible. So during the discussion, he will say, I cannot come up. Every assessor has got this power to say, nobody can force them. They have their individual powers to say. So for them, the organization should not suffer, so that they will always keep it as a priority. So they have all the liberty and rights. No, if they have concrete evidence, right? So this is what will happen. Now let us take a case 3. Now in case 3, assume the same scenario, but the 3rd assessor is like, I would like to ask some question to the candidate, and thereafter I can make up a decision whether to. So in case 2, the assessor has made up his mind before your arrival. You didn't even enter the conference hall. Before that only, the assessor has made up, okay, I'll come up for this boy. Somewhere he was performing, but not up to my up to the expectations to pass. But somewhere he was there, but no problem also. He will say, okay. Or he might say, no, I have a very clear evidence that he is not suitable. Though you passed, but in my technique, I have very clear, so this boy will not pass. So that case, he will say straight away say no. Now I am talking about a case 3 where 2 assessors have passed. 3rd assessor is like, in my interview also, I was not able to get a clear-cut this thing. I feel like this boy's determination is low. When there is a problem, when faced with a failure, he or she may not try again. Or it is like effective intelligence is low, practical intelligence is weak. So I get kind of this thing in my interview or in my GTO or in the psychology course. So in that time, the assessor says, let us probe the candidate with something. Like for example, let us check the power of expression, or let us check the determination levels, or let us check or whatever his query was. So accordingly, he will say, check this OLQ and this OLQ. He will say this. After this, once this was done, the candidate might be asked inside. So candidate walks in, made to sit. Your interviewing officer, whoever has done interview for you, they will not speak to you. There will be another interviewing officer who will be speaking to you. So in that case, he will start with something and then he will give you some situations and then he will see your responses in that situation. These kind of questions will be thrown in such a way that whatever was supposed to be checked, they would like to check. Here again, point to notice, they will not directly ask you that, okay, are you having this? Nobody's gonna. They will make you feel comfortable. They want you to open up. They'll ask about your performance and all those things. Then they'll slowly start asking questions to clarify. So till the time the third assessor, whoever has got a doubt, is getting clarified or giving a sign, till that time you might be probed. For somebody it might be 10 minutes, for somebody it might be 15 minutes, or somebody it might be 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So once that is done, you are told to go out. Thereafter, again they discuss, and the assessor who was telling, well, he has to say, I'm coming up or not coming. So this is how your board conference will happen. So the tips for you as assessors, or as aspirants, when you go into the SSB conference, when you enter, if you would have passed by all three assessors, then it might happen like, how was your food stay, basic general questions, and then tata bye bye, you are okay. Oops. Or you didn't even cross the score of 100. Let us say you are cross, you all the three assessors have not passed you, or one assessor has passed with 40, other two has given you 20, 20, 20, 23, something like that. I'm just telling a random number. So then also you are not crossing the criteria of 100. In that case also you are not discussed. You are called inside. Hi, hello, how are you? How was your stay? Food? Did you make friends? How was your performance? 100 questions and data. Okay. Only thing is, when two assessors passed you, third assessor has got some doubt. That time you will be asked to, you will be probed with some questions, or in general they'll ask questions. Only that is when most of the time you'll be asked some questions. Clear? So this is how you. So when if at all your wait time is increasing when you are waiting outside, it may be a possibility that you are being discussed, but not every time. Okay, I'm reiterating in my one of my previous videos also. I've said most of the candidates think like my wait time was more, so it can be anything, because there are times the computer goes faulty. There are times they might discuss something else. There are times they might have discussed about the previous candidate who has just left. It can be anything. So when you are entering, you should not go with an extra pressure that I was being assessed, so I have to answer. Don't go with that extra pressure. If you are my student, I will generally advise you go with a relaxed mind. Now, when you're sitting inside, when some questions are thrown at you, somebody is continuously asking, then you can sense, okay, they are trying to check you. So that time, be very clear in what you're answering. Take time, think, and answer. Don't take pressure. Maintain a cheerful face. Maintain a cheerful. Okay. Don't take pressure. If pressure is building on you, you can tell yourself, is an external pressure. I need to be normal. Answer yourself, start speaking to yourself, and then feel comfortable. Do not give up on the situation. Like, for example, if a scenario is given, like synthetic, always everything is a synthetic scenario is given. You and your friend are walking, you are visiting a zoo. That time your friend fell into the cage of a leopard or tiger, and then tiger is approaching. How will you handle the situation? How will you save your friend? You can understand it is a, you don't assume, okay, now tiger is up. It is a synthetic situation where it is simulated. You should save your friend. You should not die. Okay, so keep these two constants in mind and think of ideas how you can save your friend. Okay, by putting a rope, by giving a stick, a big bamboo or something, by removing your shirt and passing on your shirt, dupatta, something like that. Think creatively, your solution. You just need to ensure you are not dying, you're not giving up on your friend, he is not dying. So how will you save him? So think on these lines. So slowly your brain will give answers. If you're imagining, okay, tiger is coming and killing him, now you are, so then your mind gets confused more, though no clarity, and then finally you are goofing it up there, you are unable to answer the question. And the way you didn't answer properly, the assessor also left with no other choice just to drop. Though you would have came to the discussion, finally you are dropped. First is, don't take this pressure in your mind. Okay, simply answer. So once you're all done, so likewise after this will be done for every one of you. Once it is done, then you'll be asked to leave. You go out and then relax for some time. By lunchtime also, your results will be announced. Your maximum performance is done on day 2, day 3, day 4. Conference is a procedure. That's all. But it does has value. It has gives you time to react. It does, and it does gives an opportunity for somebody to. So with this, I have explained the complete board conference procedure. So a simple advice tip is go in a nice formal dress, especially the dress which you feel it is your favorite or you're lucky, or which you really feel I'm very confident in wearing this. So wear the dress, go out there, give your answers in a nice way. Generally, they might ask you what is your subsequent plan if you don't make it this time and all. Go with always a plan B so that you can answer them confidently. Also read about armed forces, and these are my few tips for each and every one.